Okay. Excuse me. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Monday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com, Restored Motions, RestoredMotions.com, and ProCharge EV, ProChargeEV.com. All right, let's see. Hope everyone had an awesome weekend. And if you do, in fact, have a 4-day weekend, God bless you, man. Go get it. So, yeah, 3rd of July here. Of course, Tuesday is the 4th, so a lot of people taking off here on Monday. Hey, what do y'all think? I always am curious with these shirts. So this brand is, by the way, it's Cricket. Shout out, good friend of mine who is a partner in this brand. I like the shirts a lot. Shout out Cricket. But I never know if I should button this one. Let me know your thoughts. Should I button the third one or leave it unbuttoned? I never want to have like too much going on there. Anyway, let me know your thoughts if you have a thought on the third button. Anyway, hope everybody has a great third. If you are off today, awesome. We got a full day, full lineup, so I'll be on AFR this afternoon, and looking forward to being in there. So really, it's funny, I was having this conversation over the weekend with several people. Saturday even, as a matter of fact, we, I think I told y'all, so we watched our nieces, Olivia and Sophia, all day on Saturday, and had a great time. Went to play Topgolf with them, and just swam and just cut up and had a really good time. Well, Erica wasn't hungry, but I needed some dinner, and everybody had already eaten, so I just ran up to the restaurant down the street, and I was just like, I'll just sit at the bar, drink a beer, and eat a sandwich or something real quick. And there was a nice couple having dinner, and the husband recognized me and said hello. So anyway, we ended up just sitting there talking for probably about half an hour or so, and was kind of asking me about the show, and now the baseball's over, what do you do, and all. And I was like, man, say it all the time. If LSU baseball can get me to the end of June, I am loving it, because now you got 4th of July, and then we have next week. So really just these 2 weeks in July, and the following week is SEC Media Days, like 2 weeks from today. Think about this, y'all. 2 weeks from today, we are at SEC Media Days. Brian Kelly takes the podium in roughly an hour. It's crazy, but it's here. So, you got SEC Media Days, then all the other leagues' Media Days follow, and then the following week after that, the Saints rookies report, then the veterans report, then LSU reports, and then it's preseason, and then it's here. You know what I mean? So, anyway, I'm getting pretty fired up for it, man. So, if y'all have the day off today, enjoy it. If you're working like me, let's go get it, y'all. Cheers. All right, let's say some good morning, see what y'all got. Fire away. Delton Doucette, Wendell Norman, Kirk Taylor, Goose Sports, Cajun Country. Happy 3rd. Too many buttons. Too many buttons. Tim Gotro, Trivia Carter, good morning. Mike Tiger, morning. Hope you don't have to leave in 5 minutes. I don't have to leave in 5 minutes. I don't. Okay, we're saying unbuttoned. Okay. No to the third button. Okay, that seems to be pretty much a consensus here. Spurge, good morning. Joey Metke, Merrick Mathern, Al Basilia, good morning, y'all. Good morning. Billy Mathern, good morning from Broken Bow, Oklahoma. Boo Daddy, one question I had about Jay hiring Yeski is why didn't he bring him with him from Arizona? So, Boo Daddy, it's literally the question that I asked the day we heard So, the day it was announced that Wes Johnson was leaving for Georgia was like right before the regionals, right? And of course, I did what I always do, which is you start making phone calls to see, all right, well, who's on the short list? Who's he considering? Because coaches never get caught off guard with that. Like, they always have a file, and they have, all right, if this person leaves, boom, 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 here's where I'm interested. They always have that. So Yeski was the first name mentioned to me. And y'all know the names. I've told y'all it was Yeski, it was Corey Mascara, and it was Robert Woodard. Those were the three names that I was given first, and ultimately, and then later said, yeah, and don't be surprised if he considers, going back into the pro ranks again. But ultimately, it was Yeski, and like literally the first day I asked that question, it was, well, why didn't he take him with him from Arizona to LSU? And I don't know the answer to that. But I will ask Jay, and I'm going to try to have Jay Johnson on AFR today. I'm going to reach out and see if he's got time. I don't know if he will. I would love to have him this week. I would love to have him today, because obviously no shows tomorrow. But I will 100% ask that question. Let's see. Preston Francis, BK has a conference today. No press conference today. No, I'm sorry, Preston. I didn't mean to misspeak. So, no, forgive me. So 2 weeks from today is SEC football media days, and Kelly goes first. So I'm saying basically like 2 weeks and they started, I think, at 9 or 9:30. And so 2 weeks and 1 hour from right now, Brian Kelly will be at the podium. Emmett Bean checking in from Maryland. I guess that's Maryland. Antron Hemingway, good morning. When's the next time LSU does a home and home series in baseball? What do you mean? Like what they did with Texas? Yeah, they did that with Notre Dame as well. And keep in mind, the baseball schedules aren't planned years in advance like that. So, it could literally be this coming year. We don't know. So like that, we just found out yesterday or 2 days ago, LSU announced it's returning to to Minute Maid for what used to be the Shriners Classic, but now they're calling like the Astros Foundation Classic or something. But anyway, so we know that. But as far as other non-conference games, we don't know that yet. It's similar to basketball. Football is the only one that schedules like years in advance. But I like when they do that. I like whenever they go. I like whenever they go away in the pre-conference. Now I know why they don't, and I've asked this. I've had admins tell me this before. It's because $40 million stadium doesn't pay for itself with the lights off. So they got to have home games, and if there's a weekend that they're not, if there's a pre-conference weekend they're not playing at the box, it doesn't make sense financially. Now you go play in that Minute Maid Classic or something like last year at in Round Rock, where you're going to get a payout to be there, and you get on TV, and there's some benefits there, but nothing like filling suites and 12,000 seats. You're selling 12,000 tickets and suite tickets and all that stuff for a home weekend at the box. So, but competitively, I love when they go on the road at the beginning of the season. It's it helps prepare you for what you're going to face. Go pitch on someone else's mound, sit in someone else's dugout, stand in someone else's batter's box, play in front of someone else's fans. All the things you're going to experience when you go on the road in the SEC. Kelly Gross, Deborah Coward, Trey Potan, good morning. Ali Samanduri, good morning. Let's see. Nicole Havard, David Landry, Ryan DeLon. Anything new with Burns? No, not yet. And remember, like, it could, and Ryan, just to be clear, I don't know. I've asked, and it's just kind of quiet right now. But, nothing different than what I've been told initially when he jumped in the portal 2 weeks ago, or a week and a half ago, whatever that was. But remember, it may be a circumstance where the player waits to see what happens with the draft, because after the draft, every team will have a much better sense of who's signing, who's coming back, what spots are open, etc. Right? So you don't have to, remember, if you're in the transfer portal, you don't have to commit to a team or sign with a team or enroll at a school when that window's open. That's just the window to put your name in the portal. And once your name's in the portal, you can sign or commit or enroll, whenever you want. So I guess my point is, it would make sense if Chase Burns or anybody waited until after the draft. I mean, the draft is coming up on Sunday. So we're 6 days away from the draft. So why not wait and see who goes where and what option? Because you'll have a much more crystallized idea of what opportunities are available after the draft. Like what if you're LSU and you see, okay, Floyd's obviously going to get drafted high, but what if Little and Money and Ackenhausen and Cooper and all the guys that we thought are kind of like borderline guys, what do? If they all go top 10 rounds somewhere, it's basically an indication that they've accepted a signing bonus and they're going. Well, now all of a sudden there's way more innings to be had at LSU. Make sense? Ali, in my Hank Williams Jr. voice, are you ready for some football? Yeah, man, we're getting close. Ryan Dixon, was it a promotion? Whoops, sorry. Where is that one? Was it a promotion that the director of ops at LSU going with Wes Johnson to Georgia? Seems odd. Yeah, so he's going, I believe, to be a recruiting coordinator. So remember, you can only have 3 on-field assistants in baseball. You have the head coach, then typically you'll have like a pitching coach, hitting coach, and they approve the 3rd assistant. So a lot of times it's like a recruiting coordinator in field. In field or whatever it is. But typically what they had forever was called a volunteer assistant. So you'd have 2 paid coaches and a volunteer assistant. So then the head coach ultimately would hold one of those roles, either as the pitching coach or the hitting coach. And then you'd have a volunteer assistant. And the volunteer assistant always got paid with camps. Well, now you can have a 3rd paid assistant. Well, LSU's paid assistants on staff were Wes Johnson, Josh Jordan, and Mark Monica. So So Josh Simpson, who was LSU's director of ops, wasn't an on-field coach. He was the director of operations. Now, Josh Simpson has a background, as we talked about, in professional baseball as a scout in the Rangers organization. And I think that's really smart. I think it's very smart to have someone in that ops position who comes from a scouting background, because remember, professional scouts scout every high school prospect and every college prospect, so they know everybody. So they'll always have good opinions on what a player can do, what he might project as. So when you're looking at filling roster spots and putting pieces of the puzzle together for a baseball roster, what does this guy think about this left-handed arm at Cincinnati? Is it worth going to get? Which is top end? Could it be a rotation guy? That sort of thing. So anyway, long way of answering your question, Ryan. Yes, that's a promotion, because my guess is Wes Johnson is going to make him an on-field assistant as well. Marquise Robinson, why do LSU fans treat JD like he's Brandon Harris, Anthony Jennings? I don't know. I don't necessarily see that, Marquise. I think there's some people who are, I think it's natural that you're kind of like, sometimes guys become pot committed to a player who signed out of high school. I think that's part of the allure of Nussmeier. Feels like he's your guy, right? He signed out of high school instead of transferred in. But I think that's a small minority. I think, if you're seeing that on Twitter, message boards, whatever, it's still a minority. Sammy Mayer from Matt, you did an awesome job on baseball coverage all year. You were my main source of information. Thank you. You got it, Samuel. Thank you so much for following along, man. I really appreciate that. It'll be awesome having Texas and baseball in the SEC in the future. Let's see. Eric Hart, good morning from Lake Livingston, Texas. Where's Lake Livingston? Is you doing? Is it work, Eric, or vacay with the fam? Thanks for checking in, my dude. Austin Fridge, do you think Brian Thomas Jr. will have a breakout year this year? I do. I think the off the radar player, however, sorry. I think the off the radar receiver that maybe has the breakout year is Kyron Lacy. They love Kyron Lacy. Everyone I talked to said he had a monster spring, and they really like him and think he's ready to explode. So yes on Brian Thomas, but also yes if you're looking for an even more off the radar, since we've seen Brian Thomas play a lot the last 2 years. Kyron Lacy. Brian Broom, Michael Cook, good morning. Let's see. Preston Francis, what is your opinion on the Skyline Club in Tiger Stadium? I think it's really smart. I think in an era where people are choosing less and less to go to games, the way that you're going to get people to show up is by amenities, making something more of an event. So the thing about the Skyline Club, you have your own private elevator. For those who don't know, that's the seats at the top of the south end zone. So it's atrocious. I mean, you're at the top of the south end zone. But you have your own private elevator up there. It's limited seating, so it's only like maybe 1,500 seats up there total. So you have your own bathrooms up there, so you're not going to wait in line. You have private concessions up there with premium concession choices as well. You have more space as you're seated up there. My point is, there's a lot of now the view of the game sucks because you're at the top of the stadium, but you'd still see it, you know. But as far as an experience, yeah, I think it's really smart to take an area of the stadium that otherwise nobody would want to sit in and making it appealing. I think it's really smart. Eric Wilder out of Morning Scone, just locked up my tickets to Orlando. Any idea what 104.5 broadcast schedule looks like for the week? Not yet, Eric. We were getting past Omaha, and now that Omaha is done, we turn our attention to Orlando with what we're going to do. I was actually starting to look up yesterday what travel groups are going, where we might be staying, broadcast locations, all that sort of stuff. So we need to get that ball a-rolling, friend, because we are about two months away. Emmett Bean, I wish they played the Terps in College Park. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen, dog. There's no sense in making that trip. Migo Tez, Matt, did Terry Rooney get hired to be part of the baseball staff again? Terry Rooney's at Purdue. I don't think so. Not that I heard, anyway. Tim Gautreau, any chance you can get an interview with Chris Doering in the baseball uniform at Media Days? Probably not in the baseball uniform, but an interview with Chris Doering is, I think, is very doable. We can talk about the baseball uniform. However, I don't think he's going to bust that back out. I thought Wes Johnson would be Georgia's head coach. He is. Wait, what's I don't understand, Mike the Tiger 2023 National. Wes Johnson is Georgia's head coach. He's Georgia's head coach, but he hired Josh Simpson to Georgia to join his staff. Josh Simpson was the ops guy at LSU, and he's been hired on. Wes Johnson's bringing him with him. Let's see. YT Shadow. Good morning. Good to see you. Okay, you as well. South end zone is the Mason Taylor end zone. I thought no, the Mason Taylor. No, the Mason Taylor 2-point conversion was in the north end zone, wasn't it? Yeah, north end zone. No, that is the south end zone. Oh, good call. Good call. I guess I've watched that so many times in so many different angles. Unless I'm watching it again. They're swamping Mason Taylor. Oh, man, that's so good. The Alabama kid who's all distraught. Right in the middle of a bunch of LSU fans. It's so good. I'm watching this again. Oh, it's so good. Bryce Young's all sad. This is so good. What is that? Anyway, sorry. I decided to go down the rabbit hole again. That was really good. Oh man, that's so good. Let's see. Carter Harris, more to Matt. What do you think Jaden Daniels' ceiling is this season? Ceiling? His ceiling? LSU wins the national championship and he wins a Heisman. That's a ceiling. Like, could Jaden Daniels throw for 3,500 yards and rush for 1,000 yards and LSU goes undefeated and he wins the Heisman? Yes, absolutely. That would absolutely be his ceiling. Now, I'm not predicting that he's going to throw for 3,500 yards and run for 1,000 yards and win the Heisman and LSU goes undefeated. But I would love to just mostly see him stay healthy and have a full 12-game regular season. I think I'm settling in on a prediction for this team. I think most of you are going to like it. Like last year, Jaden threw for 2,913 yards and ran for 885. So I think he's got a great chance to bust past 3,000 yards and 1,000 yards rushing potentially. Maybe those rushing totals come down a little bit, actually. And it wouldn't surprise me if the rushing total comes down, mainly because the reason that it was so high last year, early in the year, was necessity. But I think LSU will have a better traditional running game this year. Like their running backs will be better and the offensive line will be better. And so I don't think Jaden Daniels will have to run as much. So anyway. Couple more. Please smash that like button. Appreciate y'all for being here. Subscribe up to the channel. Tremaine, definitely not a small minority that trashes Daniels. Everywhere I see videos and stories, it's always people saying horrible things about the young man. Well, but again, just because of everywhere you see it, it's just where you're looking. That doesn't mean that's a majority. That's what we call a vocal minority, is what that is. Like, keep in mind, if you saw 1,000 videos of people trashing Jaden Daniels, Tiger Stadium seats 100,000 people. So that's 1% of the people in Tiger Stadium, not even 1% of the entire fan base. But when you see 1,000 videos, people trashing, it feels like a lot. So context matters. I live in that world every day. Ryan Pike, who do you think is more regular season wins? UT or LSU. Now, are you talking UT Texas or UT Tennessee? No, I think LSU. Joey Metke, Matt, plans for having Brian Kelly on air for an interview. Would love to do that. Would love to do it in the next couple of weeks here before media days. That'd be great. Hey, Dad, good morning. Lars Corville asked Matt, will special teams be any better this season? Yes. I think, obviously, you've made a change there with Polian out. I'm a little skeptical on the structure of kind of having different coaches handle different units and not having a dedicated special teams. I know that John Jancic has the title of special teams coordinator, but it's kind of like that'll be sort of game day responsibilities, but throughout the week they'll have different coaches work with different units. I guess, Lars, when you're like, I think LSU was 113th last year in the special teams efficiency ratings. It's hard, maybe 117, I think maybe. It's hard to be worse when you're so close to dead last. Even a 50% improvement, which would put you in the middle of the pack nationally, still makes you a dramatic improvement over a year ago. All right, Leon Williams, Ryan Chandler, do you think the Saints bring in another piece on the D-line, et cetera? In the sense that I don't think their current roster is what's done after the initial 53, yes. So I do think there's absolutely a chance they could add somebody else. All right, y'all, I think we're done. Jason Horn, all right, heading to Orange Beach. Chuck Bro, what's going on? Plans for tomorrow? Laying low, man. Probably just sleep in, hang out by the pool here at the house, get some work done. Rick Manuel, what's up? Sammy Merrifield, a slap on the wrist. The NCAA gave LSU basketball. Do you think McMahon will thrive as a coach and put the issue behind them? Yeah, he's got to recruit. I mean, I think, quite honestly, y'all, with the group he had a year ago, I thought he did an admirable job. They finished dead last. I understand that in the SEC, but considering the fact that a guy like KJ Williams should probably be like your third best player, and he was like, oh my God, if KJ doesn't get going, we're screwed. It goes to show you what they were, like what kind of talent they had on that team a year ago. So, and to get out of them what they did was pretty impressive, especially early in the year. So, all right, I think we're just about done. Ken Martin, fun hypothetical. If you had Skeens, Nola, Big Ben on your team, what would your rotation be? I'd go Skeens, Nola, Ben. And that's not, by the way, a commentary on the order that I think that, I mean, you can't go wrong, but Skeens, for obvious reasons, I think he's the most dominant arm LSU's ever had, and I'd put him up against anybody. I would go Nola game 2 because it's a change of pace. Nola's not going to come and throw in, 99, 100. And so a little bit of change of pace for the hitters. And then you come back in a game 3 with Ben throwing 100 against whoever somebody else's number 3 is. That's just unfair. So that's how it's set up. Kirk, let's see, LSU linebacker is only concern. Cornerback, bro. I think linebacker, they'll be fine. Bringing no more Spates was big. Moving Harold Perkins inside. They got bodies. I think they're good at linebacker. The real concern is, will those cornerbacks step up? I mean, you have one returning cornerback, LaTerrence Welch, that's it. Everybody else is a transfer or freshman. I mean, you got a lot of bodies. I think you're more talented there than you were a year ago, but someone's got to step up. So, all right, y'all, we're done. I'm going to get up to work. Y'all have a great day. So, shout out to Brock. Remember, Brock, Rock, and Wine coming up in 26 days. So, July 29th at Tiger Stadium, South Stadium Club. Y'all check it out, Brock, Rock, and Wine, brortho.com for tickets, brortho.com. And, of course, Hudco Roofing. Help us spread the word, y'all. Everybody who had that hail damage in West Baton Rouge a couple of weeks ago. A lot of people have already had their insurance adjusters come out. A lot of people got their scope of work. A lot of people already had their check from their insurance company. We are ready to roof, man. We are ready to roof. We got shingles. We got crews. We are ready, 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 ready. So if y'all know someone, or maybe you, friend, family member, coworker, let them know. HUDCO's ready. We're here. We're loaded, ready to go. HUDCO Roofing, HUDCOroofing.com. Okay, y'all have an awesome day. We'll see you for AFR 3.